Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft 1.17 farming video. Today we are going to be going over everything glowberries, and I'm going to show you these 3 farms that I have built up behind me. So glowberries are a new decorative and useful block added by 1.17. You can use them as decoration in your bases, and you can also eat them for food. They are not the best food source, so that's probably not what you're going to be using them for, but what you are going to want them for is decoration. They grow naturally and grow down further and further. You can plant them like that as well if you have multiple glowberries, and you can also bone meal them to get the berries on the vines, and then they drop as berries. Now, there's a couple different ways to farm this. There's the sort of super simple, make a line, use some observers, and break them when you get updates. So this were to grow down and go in front. When you build them down like this, they're never going to have glowberries on them, but when they grow naturally, you will see glowberries form, and then they'll break it and they'll end up in the chest down here. This is a fairly slow way to farm them, but it's super simple. All you need to do is observe the last growth state and then send the redstone up to the pistons. And you want to either use a hopper line at the bottom or a stream of water, close it in so that none of the berries get away. And then this farm basically is done. It's super simple. This is this is the least efficient for sure variant of farms that I'm going to show you, but I will show you this right here. So as it works, you can see it breaks it, and like I said, you want it closed in on all sides, and you can use the hoppers or that, but you can see it grows, and sometimes, there you go, that time there was a berry, and it broke it, and we got the berry down below. So this is not going to be super efficient. You're not going to get a ton of glowberries, but you're going to get some that you can definitely use for decor. Now, the second variant that we have over here is a little bit different. This one works based on using bone meal. So if you have a lot of bone meal, this is a good way to get lots of glowberries very, very quickly. So what you can do is you can stand and use bone meal in your hand and do glowberry like this. Now, this is only going to work AFKing for 1 stack of bone meal at a time, unless you're feeding it to yourself in some way. So what I have done is just set up a quick observer clock back here that will constantly tick this dispenser with bone meal in it, and then all you have to do is stand at the front with an open hand and click them as they come off. So this way you can do this for as long as you have bone meal, and as long as you're not hungry. But you do need an open hand. So what I recommend doing is either putting a hopper underneath or filling your inventory like this with glowberries, and that way they won't come into the empty slot that you're using until your inventory is totally full. And the nice thing about this as well is if you're not actively taking the glowberries away, the dispenser won't actually use bone meal because it doesn't think that it can bone meal something. So you won't waste a lot of bone meal this way. It is 1 bone meal per 1 berry. So not super efficient in terms of using a lot of bone meal, but if you want a lot of glowberries very quickly, this is probably the way to go. Now, the third option is the over-engineered option. This is the AFK option, which uses a flying machine with lots of glowberries. This is essentially that over there, but working constantly and with a lot more. So we have a flying machine moving back and forth, breaking these every time they grow, and you can see them growing down. Every once in a while you will see a berry. And whereas this one over here is only going to produce a few glowberries an hour, this one produces about 200, just over 200. This was a 1-hour test. This just came in when we cranked the tick up there for a second. And this is super simple to do. I will break this redstone while this comes back this time, and I'll just quickly show you. This is a simple Minecraft flying machine. This is one that almost everybody uses. So 2 sticky pistons facing each other in opposite orientation like this, with observers on top facing inwards, just like this. and then it's just slime and honey, and because they don't stick to each other, it doesn't work. It doesn't break anything. So you can go 10 out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you can see that's what I'm using down there. And then you do honey on the other side, and you shoot that back and forth in here. And if you're using the full width of this, that is the maximum push limit. So just putting another block in the way on the way back, this observer right here is enough. And this is how we send it back. We observe the observer. As it comes in, we shoot it out with 4 ticks and back in with 1 tick with repeaters. And a piston here to tick this observer. So as it comes back, it gets fired out again. And we do the exact same thing down on the other end. And then down below, it's just a simple series of water streams. So water coming in, water going over these open fence gates. You can use signs, you can use whatever. And then down below, there is a water stream, moves along. And I've done it like this with slabs and packed ice underneath, because this way you don't need to go down a level every time you put new water. So there's slabs here, 2 signs, you put the water up on top and packed ice down below, and then the stuff from over here slides under, and anything that would land on top also gets caught by the water stream, which you can see just like that. If I take out some glowberries, I can show you how this kind of works here, just like this. And you can see no matter where they land, they will move along and get caught and pushed through the water stream and make their way down to the chests over here. And that is basically this whole farm. This you can make as big as you like. You can make this 3 times as wide, just use 3 flying machines. You can make this as long as you can possibly render, because if you unload this farm, obviously it's going to break the flying machine. And all you have to do to stop it is break one of these pieces of redstone dust. And to start it, just pop any block that won't stick to the slime in front of that observer. And there you go. You can see it moving along and breaking, and you see the glowberries getting trapped up like that. And this is now 1.17, so I now also have the ability to tick warp to show you what this thing sort of does over time. And there you go. You can see it just moves back and forth. It is 100% reliable. This will never break as long as you have it loaded. And down here we can just see the glowberries flowing in. So we can cancel that, and we can step back and look at these 3 different farms all together. Now, like I said, this one is probably the simplest to make if you don't have bone meal. If you need a lot very quickly and you do have bone meal, if you have a bone meal farm, this is probably the way to go just to get what you need. And if you want a lot over a long period of time and you don't want to waste bone meal, I would go this direction. So that is the 3 different variants of glowberry farms that I had to show you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.